extracurriculars? And are there some extracurriculars that you guys think were more important for you than maybe some others?
Okay, so I guess yeah, of course, extracurriculars are really important to your application. And I don't think there's necessarily any specific extracurricular that's better, but definitely whatever you have leadership in or wherever you spent the most time in, those will be the most important to your application.
They also like to see something that you can learn from. So like writing about experience within a club that you gain knowledge and like developed a new skill or something like that. So yeah.
And I received a question that's a bit of a tangent, but they were asking about if you get into NCSSM, do you have a higher chance of getting into UNC? UNC Chapel Hill, I know a ton of residential students apply to UNC Chapel Hill. It's kind of a joke that like almost everybody applies there at least, but it doesn't necessarily mean your chances of getting in there are better, but lots of students have mentors at the school and connections with the school. So they're able to talk about their experiences with UNC Chapel Hill if they've done something like that. So that would automatically give the school an insight that you're more interested in the school already. But that definitely doesn't apply to everybody, but you do get to see a lot of Chapel Hill.
Yeah, about the Chapel Hill thing as well. I'm like, to be real, like a lot of people from NCSSM get into Chapel Hill, but it's by no means guaranteed. So just because you get into the school, if for some reason you like, I don't know, you end up slacking off, or if your performance just isn't as good at the school, once you get in, that higher chance of getting into Chapel Hill, it becomes non-existent. So really, this goes for any university. Keeping up your work ethic and keeping your performance up throughout your high school career is key for getting into any college.
And going off of that, I don't know if this is still instituted at NCSSM, but when my brother was there, they would give out a lot of scholarships to students that went to UNC. And these scholarships were through NCSSM. So are extracurriculars like sports and Boy Scouts worth mentioning in the application?
Yeah, definitely. If it's something you're passionate about or something you have leadership in or something you can talk about, absolutely. Any type of extracurricular. I know there's some questions that are tailored towards STEM extracurriculars, so definitely answer the question. But other than that, if you're passionate about it, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, like I said before, SSM is not just a science and math school, even though those are only two things in its name. So definitely mention anything that you feel like is worth mentioning.
And this next question goes off of that, how NCSM is not just a science and math school. They want to know if it's worth applying if they are a student more interested in the humanities fields.
Definitely. The classes, humanities classes specifically offered at NCSM are just amazing. There's a large selection. There's a bunch of clubs. You can do research in humanities also through a class. But yeah, it's definitely applying. You could do STEM and humanities.
Yeah, I myself don't know if I want to go into STEM or humanities, but definitely on your application, well, in general, if you're going to the school, you should have an interest in STEM because you're going to, in order to graduate, have to take, for residential, more math classes and science classes, and you have to take an engineering course to graduate. You're gonna have to take way more STEM classes than you will at your home high school. So if you just love humanities, you might want to think about that first, but definitely there are a million resources for humanities at the school, so don't worry about that.
Then on top of the classes too, I'm sure that both the residential and online programs offer a bunch of stuff outside of the classes too. So just remember that even though you may specifically like humanities over STEM, there's a bunch of classes that are offered, and there's a bunch of opportunities outside of the classes too.